Yes, welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 18th of December and the last KubeVirt community meeting that we'll have of this year, 2024. Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just have a quick peruse of the attendees. I recognize everyone's name, but just in case you are a regular attendee and you haven't introduced yourself, if you'd like to take the time, then you're welcome to do it now. Fair enough. All right, we have a very light agenda at the moment. If you do have anything you'd like to add, now is the time to throw it on there. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. So the 12th of February is our feature freeze with a release on the 5th of March. There are two pending PRs here. That's probably worth looking at. One is the CDI release, which is basically saying CDI will release approximately 1 week after KubeVirt does. What am I doing? Files changed. Here it is. And the other one is for me, adding a pre-flight checklist. So all the things that we kind of like need to do and sometimes have a bit of a forget about. Yeah, if anyone would like to have a look at this one in particular, I need to look at Alex's and review it, by all means. I am not aware of any upcoming CFP. So we won't look there. Oh, actually, that's a lie. The KFC, what is it? The New York, the KCD. You can tell I'm a bit fried today. Let's see if. Okay, KCD for New York, June next year is open. Oh, it looks like we have a few that are open. Oh, we have many that are open. Rio de Janeiro, Costa Rica, Helsinki, Texas, and New York are all open. If you live in or near any of those places, and if that is any interest to you. As always, if you have an idea for a talk and you're not entirely sure if it's got any legs, please, by all means, ping me. If you've got a submission and you'd like someone to review it, you can also ping me about that too. All right. Yeah, so the next two community meetings will be cancelled. We have a lot of people here that will have a public holiday for Christmas, and following is New Year. So we'll be back, whatever the next day is, at the 8th of January, I think. I'll send out an email. Enough rambling from me. Lubo, I see you typing.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Perfect. So yeah, I've just noted that the Alpha Zero should be coming out today, but probably going to be delayed by 1 day. And then I had type 1 OpenFlower topic for us. And that's it.
You may as well just jump straight into that OpenFlow topic.
Maybe Daniel or Brian, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So we were discussing recently how to go with the root lanes in the 6CI meeting itself. And I noticed that actually like this, the 6 storage root lane, for example, is based on the 129 provider. So all this arose because the 6 storage root lane had a failing test and no one seemed to be interested in fixing that. So I was raising the concern that, are we still interested in root, and who actually will want to take over the root lanes if we if there seems to be no interest. So I think, so my general question would be, anyone who is interested in keeping the root lanes should probably take over from us, keeping so the maintenance, for example, like bumping stuff and such things. So making sure that the latest provider is at some point being used, and all that things that come with like root with the lane maintenance. I'm not sure. Maybe someone can speak up who is interested in keeping the root lanes.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I don't know if I don't know who else uses it, but I know we use it. We use root, and what's keeping us using it is actually DRA. We need to have DRA before we can actually before you can actually like you get everything you need from device management without having root. So I mean, I think like at least my plan on this was at least what I'd like to line is I feel like in the next release for KubeVirt, which is probably I think it's when would it be? It would be in the end of Q1 or Q2 of next year, I think.
March 5th.
March 5th. Okay. I think that that is enough time for me to, I think, when we could get to kind of like commit to getting DRA merged. And I would feel like, so I guess what I'm trying to say is if we can try and hold on to the root as long for one more release, I think that would be the hope here. I don't know what the work would be involved to do that. Like I think you started mentioning it, but I think after DRA is merged, I don't think there's any reason, like you don't, at least the use case that we had was you needed to do some special device management that didn't exist with the current device plugin. So that completely goes away with DRA, and there's just no reason for it anymore.
Hi, Ryan. It's me, Stu. We hardly ever talk. That's great. All heard. I recall that a couple years ago we had attempted to or proposed the notion of retiring root, and then of course DRA. I think I can't remember if there was anything else that came up, but heard. That's great. I would at least be a little bit less aggressive about trying to get rid of root. I mean, let's make sure our ducks are in order. Let's get DRA settled for you, and then look at a deprecation process in terms of like a formal announcement. We all can converge on a specific release when it makes sense to make it go away. But in the meantime, Daniel's warning is valid, and that is that yeah, we're not really testing that. You're on your own at your own risk.
Yeah, that's okay. I think like at least my perspective on this is if we can, like, I guess my ask is if we can, I don't want to like lose the code because then what would end up happening, like we can support it obviously like ourselves, like if we needed to, but what I guess my ask is if we can, I want to drop the code in the current release and whatever currently exists that's working for testing, that's great. And I guess my ask is to we can, if it's possible, leave it the way it is for one more release, and that would suffice, like for at least what my needs are.
Great. Okay. I was proposing we leave it the way it is for at least one more release, if not three. I mean, we need time to go about the proper deprecation process. So I'm actually proposing to go slower than you are.
That's fine with me. I think there were others that wanted to get rid of it faster. And yeah, I mean, only speaking for myself here, I could say that one more release would be good. If we wanted to do more than that, I mean, that's fine with me. That would work for our use case for what we need.
Perfect. Thank you. So yeah, Daniel, let's take it and put it in the mailing list and all the, collect other feedback, because NVIDIA might not be the only interested party in root.
So to get back on to your question, Ryan, what would be the minimum work effort that would be required to keep it? So the thing is, I was writing a mailing list item the day before yesterday to remind everyone that 129 will be going away soon. And the thing is, like, the 6 storage route lane is still based on 129. So the minimum work that we require would be to keep the lane, would be to bump it to a more recent Kubernetes version. I don't think that any major changes might be required anyway. So I think that that should be the thing, that should be it, and then we should be okay. Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Do you want to take that somehow, or does someone from the team probably want to take that, Ryan, or should we do it? Should we how do we go with
Well,
that?
so I'm trying to think of what would be just in respect of like this feature and the fact that we kind of all collectively don't want to hold on to it long term. Like, how can we sort of settle on something that gets us sort of keeps it around, like keeps it on life support, with a little time investment. I mean, what's the is this like the work here is like, is it changing just literally as simple as changing the release from 129 to is it am I just like going in and changing a text file, or I don't understand what that means when you say bump the release to 132.
Yeah, so the thing is, there is like on every lane definition, there is like a target environment variable on the job definition, and that actually holds the target Kubernetes release that the lane is tested against. So this steers like which Kubernetes CI provider actually is being used. I hope that makes it more clear. I could also just give a pointer to where the change would need to happen, if that
Yeah, if you
makes
can
it
give
more
me,
clear.
that would work. I think if you give me a pointer, I think that'll help. It sounds like what this needs to be done is like it's a few text file changes. Like, what I'm worried about is like we go and change this, and then we have to do a ton of code changes to support a feature that we're on live support. And then in which case I'd come back and say, well, I would be a little less excited about that. And I'd much rather like, I mean, because from my perspective, like if we can like if we I mean anything to me, it's like the code is probably the highest priority, the CI and the other changes. Like if we can keep the lanes and stuff working, that would be tremendous. But if it's going to cause a ton of work just to keep the lanes, then I'm a little less excited about it. So let me find that out. Maybe you can send me the pointer, and then maybe I can learn and see what exactly the commitment is involved here to like keep this on life support, and then we can decide what to do next.
Yeah, I'll just I just added a pointer to the meeting chat here. We would and I'll add something to the document so that you have it there also.
Great. Okay, that's enough to get me started then.
Yeah, and so optimally we would just need to change like the Kubernetes version and that line, and that should do it, hopefully. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what else comes with that. So, but yeah, in general, normally you would just like do like changing the value from the pointer that I just gave you from 129 to 130, and hopefully everything would work still as it did before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe that discussion will just be hypothetical and everything will go right. If not, then we'll talk again about what to do, how we want to proceed.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, the 6EI meetings happen in the morning on GMT time, which is sad. So you would not be able to attend. But if you need like a round of talking with us folks from the 6EI, then just ping me again and we'll make something happen, I think.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
There are no further questions or comments. We'll move on. It looks as though Igor's covered the pull request that we had open. Correct me if I'm wrong, Igor. Daniel, did you want to say anything more about the mailing? I've got in the mailing list review your 1.29 provider imminent removal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could. So in general, we are normally keeping only the 3 latest Kubernetes providers for testing, which is our contract in general that we hold upon, that we are currently that each of the KubeVirt versions is supporting the 3 latest Kubernetes providers that are recent at that time of release, which will be then from 132 to 130, which so implicitly means that we are going to drop support for 129 for the upcoming version. And that will so removing the Qubit CI provider of 129 will probably make some lanes that still require that 129 provider fail. And that's why I was wanting, or was why I was writing to the email to the Qubit Dev mailing list, to make everyone aware that if they are actually like using lanes that still point to 129, that they might fail at some point in time in the next weeks, because we are in the process of, we have already removed the 129 check for inside KubeCI, and the next thing we will do will be removing the 129 provider entirely, and then it will not be available anymore, and then the lanes will start failing. I hope I didn't talk too much and confuse everyone. I hope that makes it okay.
Well, no questions, so I guess you must have clarified it perfectly.
Or overwhelmed anyone.
All right, we'll move along. We've got a couple of bugs to look at. I haven't had a chance to look at these at all. Certificate expiration is constantly triggered. kubeprom stack. Ooh. Thanks, Ryan. What does DosieBot say? Did people get a chance to look at this as I was scrolling through? So Kubernetes system certification expiration warning. What does DosieBot say? Rotation in KubeVirt. Okay. Setting a Kubernetes specified time frame. Does DosieBot have it right?
Not sure, but need to look at it further. Well, you can tag me. I will. Yeah, can take a look at it.
Okay, thank you, Igor.
I think that the general rationale behind this, when it comes to certs, we made the deliberate decision years ago to rotate faster rather than slower, because if you do like yearly or 5-yearly certificate rotations, it becomes a major fire drill because you forgot how. But if it's something that's just situation normal and you do it every 3 days or whatever, I don't know what without reading deeply, what the periodicity this individual is complaining about, but that's how we got there originally, is by design. And daily rotations actually doesn't sound all that surprising. But those are tweakable settings, so we'll just have to dig into it and make sure that's what's going on. But that's how it happened, is we did it on purpose.
And Igor, if you could be so kind, when you do look into this deeper, if you have a response for DosuBot to help us train it a bit further or refine its training, that would be
I
most
saw that
obliged.
the author liked the response, so I need to check with him. Maybe the answer, maybe it already answered this issue,
Good one.
like Jeff said.
Thank you. Our second one, host-assisted cloning. Let me just see if anyone's responded. They have not. SourcePod unexpected status code 500. Host-assisted clone, SourcePod exited. Nope. No idea about their system. So it's all just here.
This seems like a CDI issue.
Yeah, should I move the issue to CDI?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll transfer that issue to CDI then.
Nice one. Thank you. Which brings us to the end of our agenda. Let me go up and have a look. Yeah, and so we'll leave it here unless anyone has anything they would like to add or ask or comment on in the last 10 seconds.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
New Year. Bye-bye.
See you.
Thanks, folks. Remember, the next 2 meetings will be cancelled. And I'll miss you all. See you in Western calendar 2025. Ciao.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
See you.